What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Hump Day Wednesday so far. This is MYG Jeffy T85 here, and I just want to talk about what the New York Mets might still be interested in doing in free agency for the rest of this upcoming offseason before we get near spring training, which is crazy to say. It's only a couple of months away. 2023 Major League Baseball is not that far away, so everybody get ready. First, I want to get to a couple of other news that happened around the New York Mets. Today, the New York Yankees hired former New York Mets general manager and ambassador of the team, Omar Minaya. He is now going to be part of the New York Yankees team as the executive. He's going to be part of the executive vice president role for the New York Yankees going forward. He's going to be working under Brian Cashman. The Yankees also hired Brian Sabian yesterday. So the Yankees are really trying to strengthen their front office right now for the New York Yankees going forward. Now you got three brilliant minds in Omar Minaya, Brian Cashman, and Brian Sabian in that Yankees farm system. Might be the key of what's trying to put this team over the top. Because in reality, the Yankees have not done a good job when it comes to bringing up really good players from their minor league system. Aaron Judge being the one notable player whom has become a big-time player in the major leagues coming up from the farm system and was rewarded with that monster contract that he got in the offseason. Also, and just for finish it off with Omar Minaya, he was the former New York Mets general manager in 2002 when he was the first ever Latin GM named as a general manager back in 2002, and he was pretty much with the Mets organization all the way up until 2010 as the general manager. He was there for that team when they made it to the National League Championship Series against the St. Louis Cardinals in 2006. We all know how that ended. He was also brought back in 2017 as a special assistant to Sandy Alderson in the New York Mets organization, and he was named to an ambassador role in 2021 to help out to reach out to the Latino community with the New York Mets. So best wishes to Omar Minaya, Met through and through. Good luck with you with the New York Yankees. As well as New York Mets longtime announcer Wayne Randazzo has officially ended his tenure with the New York Mets after 8 years with the organization, calling New York Mets games on WFAN radio on 660 or 101.9. Best of luck to Wayne Randazzo. I remember listening to a lot of his calls that he had, and I love the calls that he had on WFAN with Howie Coleman. It's just fantastic stuff. I love Wayne Randazzo and his energy that he always brings to the New York Mets radio. So best of luck to Wayne Randazzo onto your next future endeavors. Now to the meat and potatoes of why I'm making this video right now. The New York Mets have had themselves a hell of an offseason so far, to say the least. Bringing in names like Kodai Senga, Jose Quintana, Justin Verlander, potentially Carlos Correa, that's still being worked out, re-signing Edwin Diaz and Brandon Nimmo. But the New York Mets are not done. There's still some work to be done, as Mets Mesmerize has reported that the New York Mets are still looking for some backup outfield depth to go with the lineup they have right now. We're assuming right now the starting outfield will be Brandon Nimmo at center field, Starling Marte in right field, and Mark Cahna at left. But then who are the backups? You could essentially say you have Khalil Lee, who has been pretty much a backup for the majority of the time. He's been in the minor leagues for a good amount of time. As well as you can put Jeff McNeil out there if you keep Eduardo Escobar around, or if you have Luis Guillorme in the infield. Maybe you could shift Jeff McNeil to the outfield if you want to give Marte, or you want to give Cahna a blow in the outfield. Or you have prospect Brett Beatty, who is mostly a third baseman, but he does have experience playing in the outfield, even though it's only been 11 games. And if the Mets end up landing Carlos Correa, Brett Beatty might have to start learning a new position if he wants to try to be a long-term piece on this team going forward. But the New York Mets are exploring right now the market for some potential outfield depth. And you hear names like Adam Duvall, who has been pretty much with the Atlanta Braves for the most part, Jurickson Profar, who spent the last couple of seasons with the San Diego Padres. There's a couple of options that the New York Mets could be interested in bringing in as depth. You also heard names like A.J. Pollack and Trey Mancini, and Mancini has a relationship with Buck Showalter for the times that Showalter managed in Baltimore with the Orioles, and the same time where Trey Mancini was part of the Baltimore Orioles organization as a first base / DH position. So the Mets are looking for those types of players to bring in as depth to the outfield position, as well as you got other guys like Corey Dickerson, David Peralta, Robbie Grossman, Ben Gamel, Andrew McCutchen, Tommy Pham, Jackie Bradley Jr., Adam Engel, Tyler Maquin, who was just part of the New York Mets, who's a free agent, and of course Kevin Pillar, who also was with the team a couple of years ago, as other potential outfield options to help fill out the roster and the depth of the outfield. Who would be the best position? I mean, what are the Mets exactly looking for in terms of their outfield depth, too? You got to think about that. What are the New York Mets looking for their depth overall? Are they looking for a power guy that can come off the bench? Are they looking for a guy that's going to give them steady defense in case they want to make a switch in towards the end of the game? You know, if they don't trust Cahna or Marte in the outfield when it comes to defense. They're looking for a big bopper. They're looking for a contact swinger. You know, what exactly are the New York Mets looking for? If you're looking for a guy that can provide power, then obviously you're going to look for a guy like Adam Duvall. You're going to look for a Ben Gamel. You're going to look for Robbie Grossman, those types of players. Or Corey Dickerson. If you're looking for a straight-up hitter, you're probably going to look at maybe David Peralta, Tommy Pham, a Jackie Bradley Jr., a Kevin Pillar, and defense as well. Pillar, Naquin, you know, those types of players. So it all really depends on what the New York Mets are looking for in terms of the depth in that outfield. Are the Mets going to even sign just one? Are they going to try to sign multiple players to that outfield? Are they just going to be like, you know what, we're going to sign one outfielder and then that's it? Are they going to try to sign multiple people? It also depends on what the New York Mets think about their minor league players. Like an Alex Ramirez, who is 19 years old, playing in single AA right now for the New York Mets, as well as if Brett Beatty can handle the outfield, Mark Vientos can handle the outfield. Ronnie Mauricio, I believe, is going to be in the infield for the most part, though I don't know where he's going to play. But what do the New York Mets think of these young prospects, too? Are they going to be able to handle a backup role, or do the Mets want to try to get these guys in a prominent role on this baseball team going forward? That's just a couple of the options the Mets could be thinking about. Adam Duvall, he's been pretty good with the Braves. When he came to the team a couple of years ago, Adam Duvall fit very well on that team as that big-time power bat, either coming off the bench or starting in left field for the Atlanta Braves, and was a big part in the resurgence that helped that Atlanta Braves team win the World Series in 2021. Jurickson Profar has actually not been bad over there for the San Diego Padres, starting in the outfield for the past couple of years, after a lot of people thought this kid was a bust when he played with the Texas Rangers coming up through their farm system. I mean, Pollack, A.J. Pollack's been a solid player for many years for the Diamondbacks. Was even an all-star for at least a year. Trey Mancini is not going to give you a lot of power numbers, but he's a good contact hitter and he has familiarity with Buck Showalter. You can bring that guy in as your backup outfielder or first baseman and DH. Sign us up. I take it. More depth on this team. Corey Peralta, David Peralta, solid player for the Arizona Diamondbacks for years. Knows Eduardo Escobar pretty well. Corey Dickerson, another player that's played with at least the Tampa Bay Rays as well as the San Diego Padres. Tommy Pham, longtime Milwaukee Buck. Also he's longtime Tampa Bay Ray. Played with the Padres last year and the Red Sox. Jackie Bradley Jr. won a World Series. Great defensive player. Not really a lot with the bat. Adam Engel, another solid player. Believe he played with the Anaheim Angels. Tyler Naquin, longtime player with the Reds, was with the Mets this past season when they traded for him at the trade deadline. And Kevin Pillar, longtime Toronto Blue Jay, played with the Mets a couple of years ago. A lot of options for the Mets to think about in terms of depth players in this outfield. It's just really what are the New York Mets looking for in terms of their depth players in this outfield. Are you looking for defense? Are you looking for contact hitting? Are you looking for power hitters? Are you looking for anything and above? That's what the real question is when it comes to the New York Mets. What exactly are they looking for in terms of added outfield depth on this team, but I definitely believe they will add another outfielder on this baseball team in the coming weeks. It's just a question of what direction they will go. And obviously, they're right now concentrating on trying to sort out this Carlos Correa situation, because once they do that, then the New York Mets can focus on filling out the rest of this roster, whether they can trust their minor league players or whether the New York Mets can, in fact, go to the outside market and see if they want to sign one of these players or trade for somebody in the outfield market to fill in as a depth outfield position player going forward. So that's just my news I want to give for the New York Mets right now on Wayne Randazzo parting ways with the New York Mets after 8 years on WFAN. Also, Omar Minaya has officially accepted a role with the New York Yankees front office after spending multiple stints with the New York Mets, including the first ever Latino general manager from 2002 to the 2010 with the New York Mets, being hired as a assistant to the general manager in 2017, then being named to an ambassador of the New York Mets in 2021 to the Latin community, and as well what outfielders the New York Mets might be interested in terms of filling out the depth and the outfield going forward behind Mark Cahna, Brandon Nimmo, and Starling Marte going into the 2023 Major League Baseball season. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYG Jeffy T85 for more breaking news, updates, and chatter surrounding the New York Mets. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short they'll be dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Mets. And you guys let me know in the comment section what you think about the outfield, the remaining outfielders in the free agency right now, and who you would like to see the New York Mets go out there and try to sign to bring into this organization as potential outfield depth going into the 2023 Major League Baseball season. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, your Hump Day Wednesday. Take it easy. And I'm sorry, it's Thursday today. Why am I saying Wednesday? It's Thursday today. Enjoy your Thursday. Take it easy, and let's go New York Mets. All you got to do is you got to believe in those boys from Queens.